Welcome back to our Chest YouTube channel. Today's class will be learning how to make this beautiful puff sleeve with cuff. So we'll be learning how to make this using a method that's not going to consume too much fabric, and it's very simple and easy. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so there are several ways you can make your puff sleeve, but this is one of the easiest way you can make it with little fabric. You can make this using a flare method, but flare always consumes more fabric. So if you don't have enough fabric and you still want a puff sleeve, this is a method that you can use. So for this, I'm folding my fabric into two, as we have seen, and this is the fold points. I just folded it into two. The length that I'm working with is going to be my elbow length, because I want this to be an elbow length sleeve. So the measurement from the shoulder to the elbow is around 13 inches, but I'm going to increase this by 3 to 5 inches depending on how full and how puffy you want your puff sleeves to be. So now if I'm increasing this by 3 inches, I'll have 16 inches, and if I'm increasing by 5 inches, I'll have 18 inches. So I'm just going to leave it at around 17 inches, which is here. Okay, so I have 17 inches here for my length, and then for the width, the armhole measurement that you're working with, you can multiply it by 2 or 3, so it gives you an idea of how much you're going to fold your fabric. So this is my 17 inches here. I'm just going to make that into a straight line. So my armhole is actually 9 inches. So I multiply 9 inches by 3 inches. You can also multiply by 2 inches if you don't have enough fabric, or if you don't want it too puffy. So if I multiply my 9 inches by 3 inches, I'm going to have around 27 inches. Okay, I can also multiply by 2.5 inches. So instead of 27 inches, I can just leave it at around 25 inches, or I'll just work with what I have. So what I have here is around 20.5. So after doing this, now I'm going to cut off this space so that I'll have something smaller to work with. Okay, so now I have this. I'm just going to trim this side so that I can have something equal on both sides. So now for my cap's height, I'm going to measure around 8 inches downwards, 8 or 9 inches. I'm using freehand, and then from there I'm going to connect it to the head of the sleeve in a circular form here. So after connecting it, I'm just going to measure what I have, and this is around 23 inches, which is okay for me. If you want it to be more, you can still broaden the curve that you have there. So this is what I have now, and this is what my sleeve is looking like. So for the cuff, I'm going to bring in my leftover fabric, and then I'm going to measure where my cuff is going to be. So you take your measurement around that place. You don't want it too tight because there's no elastic there. So I have around 12 inches there. So now I'm going to put my fabric on fold again. 12 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 6 inches because it's now on fold. Then I'm going to add 1 inch seam allowance to it, and that's going to be 7 inches. So I have 7 inches here, and then you're going to decide how long you want your cuff to be. So a cuff around 2 inches is okay for me, but it can be more for you. So I have 2 inches or 3 inches with seam allowance. So I'm folding this now. I'm folding 7 inches by 6 inches, and then I'm going to cut this out, and that is going to be my cuff. Okay, so this is what the cuff looks like now. So the next thing is for you to go ahead to your sewing machine now, and then I'm going to gather this. So I'm going to gather all of this hem to fit into this small cuff that I have here. I hope you understand that. I'm just going to go ahead now and run my gather stitch now to fit into my cuff, and also I'm going to gather this upper part also to fit into my armhole, and your puff sleeve is ready. Okay, so I've gone ahead to gather this, and as you can see, it has been gathered on one end of the cuff. So now the next thing now is to fold my cuff like this. I'm going to fold in my half-inch seam allowance, and then I'm going to fold this over the rough part, this seam allowance part now, and then I'm going to sew it off completely. Okay, so after sewing it off, I've also gone ahead to run a gather stitch on the head of the sleeve. So I'm just going to pick one of the threads, and then I'm going to gather it also back to the original size of my armhole, which is 18 inches. Remember, by the time I divided it into two, I have 9 inches. So now I'm going to gather all of this back to 18 inches so that it can fit into the armhole space that I am working with, and then your puff sleeve is ready. So it's that simple and fast. Just make sure that you don't pull too much so that your thread does not fall. So you can see how puffy this is looking already. So I'll go over to the sewing machine now and close this up, and then I'll bring it back to show us what we have. Okay, so now I've gathered it, and then I've sewn in my cuff. You can see what we have. The next thing is just for you to close up your underarm by taking it together, and then you use your 1-inch seam allowance to close it up. Okay, so the underarm is sewn now, and I'm going to turn this to the right side. So you just need to serge all the rough edges, or you sew in a bias, or you do a French seam to cover them up. So now this is the cuff part of the sleeve, and this is the puffy part of the sleeve. So now I'll take this to the mannequin so that we can see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what the puff sleeve looks like. You can see the cuff part of the sleeve, and then you can see that this is resting on the cuff because of the extra inches that we added to it. And you can see how puffy this sleeve is looking like, even without cutting it in a flare form. I hope you enjoyed making this simple tutorial with me. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.